Holy shit, Lindsey Graham is dead. Look, I just woke up. I'm in Sicily. It's my birthday, and I get this news to start the day. And I don't care if you're pissed off that I'm celebrating. Lindsey Graham's a terrible person, and well, not anymore, because Lindsey Graham is dead. So, happy birthday to me. I did have a different birthday wish, but you know what? There's still a lot of the day left, so never know.
Bye, Lindsey. Bye, Lindsey Graham. From the closet to the coffin. Real seamless. Real seamless. Also, yeah, Mitch McConnell. So it's Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham. It does happen in threes. Hope.
Yes, Lindsey's. He's gone. He's going to Disneyland with me tomorrow. I'm so happy.
You know, celebrating people who did objectively bad things is not a sign of maturity, it's a sign of complacency. Because what it tells me is that you're perfectly okay with people like that having power to make decisions in everyday people's lives, knowing full well that those decisions that they make harm those people. So I don't want to see people celebrating a man who spent his entire career working to take away rights away from black people, brown people, poor people, women, queer people, trans people, basically anyone who was not a rich, wealthy white man. That person doesn't need to be celebrated. And that doesn't mean we have to be dancing on their graves, but what it does mean is that you do not celebrate someone who worked their entire career to make people's lives worse. We don't need to do that. It doesn't show that you're an adult, it shows that you're complacent.
Wow. All these senators and congressional members posting pictures of them with Lindsey Graham and seeming like they're so sad. That man went to bat at anything that could help the American people that the Democrats were working on. He did everything that President Donald Trump wanted him to do. He was at that man's beck and call, no matter who it hurt. So no, I don't think it's cute that our Democrat representatives are going online and posting all these pictures trying to show some damn camaraderie. I get diplomacy, but that's not your friend at the end of the day unless it is true that it's all a dog and pony show. No, that doesn't seem like we are supposed to be fighting fire with this current administration.
Fire with fire.
And I'm seeing a bunch of patty caking going on. So no, wish the family well. Sorry for your loss. Look into what happened. But at the end of the day, quit the patty caking. Quit the, Lindsey Graham, da-da-da. No, he would fight against anything and everything that would have been progressive, even from the closet. Bye.
You know, I think at this point, America have war within themselves. We have war within ourselves. We don't need to help another country fight their wars. I think we have war in our countries.
Democratic senators waking up today and deciding to eulogize Lindsey Graham is, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? Like, in any normal world, the idea of eulogizing a coworker would make sense, right? I used to work in education. Like, if one of my coworkers passed away or left, it's like, oh yeah, they're a great guy, da-da-da-da. But this is not a normal world, because these Republican senators, Lindsey Graham in particular, has been instrumental in decimating communities, has been instrumental in taking food out of children's mouths, in cutting programs that make sure that women and children have access to health care, in voting to try to make sure that women don't have access to reproductive health care. Like, his funded endless wars has literally been put his pen to paper to see the destruction of groups of people both domestically and abroad. This is not a normal world. These folks are evil. Lindsey Graham has acted in such nefarious and evil ways that it had dire consequences, including death for tens of thousands, if not millions of people. And for the record, if one of my coworkers in education I found out was harming children, I'm not eulogizing them when they leave. Good riddance. I don't want you here. Be gone. Wanna be? Be gone.
Oh, my God.
I think sometimes this is where folks get frustrated, because you can't simultaneously campaign and say these folks are a threat to democracy while we watch the chaos, the destruction, the bloodshed, the carnage that happens as a result of their plans and ideas. and then turn around and be like, well, they're actually kind of a good guy after all. This is such an incredibly stupid thing for them to be doing. And they deserve every bit of the vitriol they're going to get from everybody for it. Because it is not a humane thing to humanize a person who has acted in ways that are dehumanizing to other people. Thanks for coming to my TED.
All right, so I wake up this morning and check my phone, and wouldn't you know, Lindsey Graham is dead. And that's a win in my book, folks. And here's why. This man has spent years twisting himself into a pretzel to defend Trump like some contortionist.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to stand here and pretend that Senator Lindsey Graham was a great and honorable man just because he's dead, because he wasn't. Lindsey Graham was a miserable, evil warmonger with no principles. The sad, pathetic end of his career is a testament to a Republican Party that's become a cult to Donald Trump. I don't care what anybody says from the Republican Party. I'm not going to take any lectures from them after they support a president who virtually spit on the graves of John McCain, Robert Mueller, and Rob Reiner. What made Lindsey Graham so horrible is that he knew better. He was close friends with Republican Senator John McCain, the man Trump attacked in life and kept attacking after he died in 2018. And then he snuggled up to Trump like a puppy dog begging for a bone from his owner. What kind of man befriends the enemy of his deceased best friend? Trump gave out Lindsey Graham's personal cell phone number to the world, and Lindsey laughed it off like the beta male that he always was. What I hate about Lindsey Graham is that he knew exactly who Trump was from the beginning. He called Trump
a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
He said he's
unfit for office.
And said that he
doesn't have the temperament or judgment to control himself.
Graham said that Trump would be
the most flawed nominee in the history of the Republican Party.
And after all that, he became Trump's little lapdog. Yes, he briefly broke with Trump after the January 6th insurrection and said,
"Count me out. Enough is enough."
But the very next month, he was cozying up to Trump again. And just last year, Graham said that
Trump is my favorite president.
And why?
We're killing all the right people.
And that's who Lindsey Graham was. A man who got a hard-on for war. Afghanistan, Iraq, Venezuela, Cuba, Iran. It didn't matter for Lindsey.
I go back to South Carolina. I'm asking them to send their sons and daughters over to the Mideast.
Graham recently told Israel,
why is it okay for America to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? To Israel, do whatever you have to do.
I don't care if Lindsey Graham was gay and spent his whole life in the closet. That's a struggle his conscience had to deal with and take to his grave. I do care that he spent his entire career supporting a party that tried to hurt LGBTQ people. And that's the problem. It's the constant lies and hypocrisy from Graham and the Republican Party. When President Obama nominated a Supreme Court justice in 2016, Graham made up a new rule that we can't fill a vacancy in the last year of a president's term. But then when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died in the last few months of Trump's first term, Graham changed the rule and pushed Amy Coney Barrett onto the Supreme Court 1 week before Election Day.
And you could use my words against me, and you'd be absolutely right.
He did the same thing on abortion. First, he said
States should decide the issue of abortion.
Then a few months later, he supported a national abortion ban because
this is not a states' rights issue.
Today's Republicans have no principles but power. If they will sell their souls to Trump, they'll sell their souls to the next highest bidder as well. But now that Lindsey Graham is dead and Mitch McConnell may be next, it's time for us to put a stop once and for all to the mad cult of Donald Trump.
No, I gotta say something. Politics in America has become so personal that people aren't just arguing anymore. They're celebrating when someone dies. Bro, I don't care what side you are on. When we get to the point where a person's death becomes entertainment, something has literally gone wrong. You can disagree with someone's policy. You can criticize their decision. That's part of democracy. But celebrating death, that's a different line. Looking at this reaction, it's clear that political division isn't slowing down, bro. If anything, it's becoming more personal than ever. Yes, and I understand, but in death, there's a thin line, bro. There's a thin line, bro.
As I'm sure you've heard, Lindsey Graham is dead. It's reported that it was a sudden and brief illness. That's a really weird way to say that the choke play went bad. I mean, it was Saturday night. I'm sure Grindr was, being used. And how is Grindr going to recover from this? He was one of their biggest clients. People are like, you shouldn't celebrate somebody's death. Why? Why shouldn't I celebrate the reason why the Supreme Court is the way it is? Why shouldn't I celebrate when they died? I didn't wish him dead, but I'm not going to be sad that he's dead now. Wait until the big, beautiful obituary comes out. You think I'm happy now? I'm gonna walk up and down my freaking road banging pots and pans. Not a joke. I'm actually gonna do that when it happens. When it finally fucking happens. So this is nothing. I'm just happy that the war hawk is dead.
Lindsey Graham, it's dead. It's dead. What? Do you want more words? Because he isn't worth a breath.
I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day.
Fine. At your wishes. Attention, all you bloodthirsty pedophiles. Listen up, you genocidal freaks. Do you see your legacy? Despised, hated, and full of shame?
We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
The entire world felt relief, a massive wave of joy. And nobody applied the human rule, don't mock the death. But why would we mock him? You must possess humanity first. And lacking dignity gets you nothing. And your soul, it's worth zero. Do you think we will forget that he advocated to flatten Gaza?
And they flattened Gaza. Just flatten it. We flattened Berlin. We flattened Tokyo.
He demanded using nuclear power, and he begged to bomb Iran.
Hit Iran. Blow it off the map.
A completely unhinged, rabid warmonger. Do you remember the floods when nature struck your country very hard? Oh, and the nature took him too. Remember what he said? Listen.
Well, look what's going on in Israel.
Well, look at him now. No more Epstein files to worry about, right? And no more sweating those documents. He cheered for endless wars and just a despicable.
Nicole is crazy, bro. Nicole is crazy. She's crazy, man. But why I found this funny, let's continue.
For endless wars and just a despicable, pathetic snake. Oh, are we stomping on a corpse? Is that too insensitive now? Oh, dear entire Epstein ruling class, why do you think you deserve respect, even in death? Your legacy is endless death, and your legacy is pure shame.
Shame. Shame.
You think you're different? Those are the old days, and the old days are gone, when the elites were writing the history. But right now, we hold the pen. You sit in your high castles and fortresses built on spilled blood, built with the bones of the children that you are actively killing. And you think you're untouchable, and you think you're the heroes, and you expect a grand historical biography. But that era is completely over, and everybody has a pen now. Everybody will remember the truth. And you aren't a grand historical figure. You're simply going down. His death deserves no words. But it's a good example. So listen closely, all you Epstein upper class. This is your exact legacy. And don't pretend you don't care, because you desperately crave to be remembered. But you're absolutely nothing. Without the people, you vanish. And time won't erase your crimes. And history will drag you down.
You see, this is crazy because, as much as everyone has a pen, I think we are crazy. We are really, really crazy. We are really, really crazy. And I keep coming back to one thing. America is becoming a place where policy and politics it defines our friendship. Why on earth should it be happy? It's sickening because, frankly speaking, not everyone around you likes you and they don't wish you well, literally. But when you do, it shows you need help. You don't have to care about the person's death. You don't have to. The least you can do is to not show concern. Whether you support Graham or you don't support him, whether you oppose him or not. But when it comes to death, you should pause. You should slow down. The comment I'm seeing online and even X or Twitter is worse. It's terrible. It's diabolical. I hope we don't get to the point where every political debate, every time we disagree with someone, every time we disagree with someone, ends with us celebrating the person's death. Nah. You can disagree with someone and not celebrate their death. This is what happened with Charlie Kirk. A lot of people go online and say, deserve what he got, he deserve what he got. Bro, That's the thin line between, you should know your heart that you are evil. When you start wishing someone, a fellow man like you, death, think of their family, think of a lot of things. What you can do is to just show no concern, not speak ill of them. It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
A democratic apology to the Lindsey Graham family, because it is insane and hate and vile shit that's being posted about this man, okay? I don't care if you're not a fan of him. I certainly wasn't a fan of him. He had an untimely death. If you didn't hear last night, he had a heart attack or something. Something caused him to die like within hours of apparently being perfectly fine. So that's a shocking loss. And yes, I know, Trump says I'm happy these people are dead and all this shit too. Well, fuck Trump, right? Because that doesn't matter. And fuck you for trying to be like him, right? You can't say that you disagree and hate Trump and then react just like he does, right? The Obamas famously said, when they go low, we go high. And right now, it's the most vile, hateful, disgusting shit that I'm seeing posted on every single video about Lindsey Graham. Again, not a fan of his, but he's had an untimely death. He had a family. Feel sorry about him. Say rest in peace or say nothing at all and just keep scrolling. But this shit only brings everybody down, causes more division instead of bringing people together. And yeah, I just want to apologize to the Lindsey Graham family. Obviously, it's not all Democrats, but the stuff I'm seeing on these comments is just ridiculous and uncalled for.
The Democrat Party, the Democrats, or as I call them, the Demon Rats, are celebrating today, folks, because unfortunately, Senator Lindsey Graham has passed in the night. For any of us who are Trump fans, we know we had our differences with Lindsey over the years. However, I think that when the chips were down, Lindsey was always a loyal guy. And in particular, in defending Brett Kavanaugh, who I want to talk about a little bit later. But before we do that, first thing I want to show you guys, because I made a video this week about how the Demon Rats, they're always attacking me. They're always calling me names. They're always calling me gay. And what I have seen from them online and on television is the same thing. The Demon Rat playbook never changes. Lindsey Graham's body isn't even cold yet, and the Demon Rats can't resist calling him. They're calling him a war criminal. They're calling him gay. They're calling him every name in the book. Ugly, stupid. Why, Demon Rats? Why? What did he ever do to you? I know what he did to you, actually. The reason Demon Rats hate Lindsey Graham is because he exposed them for their hypocrisy and insanity. For anyone that doesn't remember, Brett Kavanaugh, before he was on the Supreme Court, he had to be confirmed. And you will not believe, you won't remember what these Demon Rats did. They brought out this lady. I don't remember her name. I just remember she was ugly and stupid. I think it was something Ford, Chrissy Ford, okay? And she came out to Congress and said that Brett Kavanaugh had assaulted her. And they put that man through hell with no evidence, nothing. They couldn't even say the time or the place anything happened. They were lying through their teeth. And one of the most important moments of the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation was when Lindsey Graham pointed at the Demon Rats and said, "You are trying to destroy this man. You people are evil. What you are doing is wrong." And he got Brett Kavanaugh through. I'm so glad how you expose yourself, Demon Rats. You can't even hold it together for a week, for 48 hours, for an hour. As soon as the man had passed, all of you were crying, ha ha ha, laughing, ha ha ha. Yeah, we'll see who's laughing when you can't get a senator in Maine. Ha ha ha.
Who is Graham? Let's watch this video.
You really don't have to be obsessed with US politics to understand and appreciate that both Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham were probably two of the most prominent and well-known Republican senators in Congress. Mitch McConnell is 84 years old. He was the longest serving leader of the Republicans in the Senate in US history. He's no longer the leader. He also was not seeking re-election in these upcoming midterms. But on June 14th, he was hospitalized, and there was a 911 call from his property stating that there was a man unconscious suffering cardiac arrest. Since then, we've had very few updates about his status or his condition, just his team on July 2nd saying that he was doing well, but we don't really know what that means. Some Republican lawmakers are saying that they've had conversations with him about foreign policy, but we haven't seen any evidence or sightings of him. Lindsey Graham was a lawmaker since 1994. He died overnight, very unexpectedly. I was really shocked when I woke up to the notification of his death. He became a member of the House of Representatives back in 1994, and in 2002, he became a senator for the state of South Carolina. He was running for re-election this November for a 5th term as a senator in the upcoming midterms, and I think a lot of people are going to be really, really shocked. But I want to zoom out for a second and see what this means for the Senate and the Republican Party and the Trump administration. So if you'll bear with me, in the US Senate, there are 100 senators, 2 for every US state, regardless of the size or population of the state. And at the moment, the way things were, if I take you back to the day before Mitch McConnell was hospitalized, there were 53 Republican senators, 45 Democrats, and 2 independents. So the Republicans had the majority in the Senate. Now you have a situation where Mitch McConnell, like as I said, he wasn't running for re-election. And also Lindsey Graham was running for re-election, but his replacement is going to be a Republican. South Carolina consistently votes red for Republicans. The important thing is not what this how this impacts the majority in the Senate right now. We'll know more about that in the midterms. This has a huge impact on the ability for the Trump administration to pass legislation. And the reason why is because both Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham were senior members on a number of different Senate committees. And in particular, I want to talk about the Senate Appropriations Committee. So basically, if you think about it, they're kind of the committee that holds the purse strings. They agree the funding for the federal government and federal organizations. And they had until September 30th, a deadline of September 30th, to agree the funding for the fiscal year of 2027. There's been a lot of disagreement because the Trump administration want, I think, in excess of $80 billion extra funding, defense funding for the Pentagon to support their efforts in this war against Iran. The Senate Appropriations Committee is made up of 29 senators, and before Mitch McConnell was taken ill, there were 15 Republicans and 14 Democrats, and so they had the majority, and they always kind of tended to vote in most cases along party lines. There was a huge fear when Mitch McConnell was hospitalized because it would be a 14-14 split, and a tie tends to really sink legislation. Now we have a situation where Lindsey Graham has very unexpectedly passed away, and that could potentially, if Mitch McConnell doesn't get out of hospital and isn't able to come back to Congress soon, could be a 13-14 split in favor of the Democrats. And that's going to have a huge impact here. And it's not to say that they won't be both replaced by Republican senators, but those senators may not necessarily get access to those same committees. Remember, both Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham were senior members on those committees. And so definitely something to keep an eye out on. I think it's going to have a real impact. And, of course, I'm going to follow this and keep you posted.
Well, you can laugh and dance on Senator Graham's grave all you want. Do it. But he is with Christ now. He is with Christ. And we have Christ on our side, and you don't. And in his life, he did more to advance the interests of real Americans like myself and MAGA than any of you have ever done.
I don't want to laugh. I'm not in the mood of laugh. I'm not in this mood, man. I'm not in this mood. I'm not in... Oh, shit, man.